So we originally started looking for a contract lifecycle management process because us as Curium didn't have one. Our original process for managing contracts was a SharePoint. We were saving contracts to that SharePoint as we were working through them. We were using emails to edit and negotiate those contracts. And there was a lot of issues, obviously, with that process. We were losing version control. Things were getting lost in email. Additionally, we had no way to track whether contracts were expiring or what the contract values were of the contracts that we were managing. Leadership was looking for better oversight and better management of it so that we could create some KPIs around our contract management. And so that's where the initial conversations with Spaulding Ridge and DocuSign initiated from, was to help us basically reduce our risk around our contract management. So the biggest challenges that we had to work through for implementation were mostly around defining the workflows. So I think we've learned pretty quickly that it's super important to understand exactly how we want those workflows to go. And then as we worked through the UAT portions of it, so the user testing, us being unfamiliar with the environments and unfamiliar with a CLM process, I think was probably the biggest challenge that we had through the implementation, was just learning the system as we were testing it. But once we did a few walkthroughs together, I think that really helped us hone in on what was working and what wasn't working. So another challenge that we had through implementation was just learning the system as we were testing it. Most of us have no experience with the CLM process, specifically with DocuSign's CLM. And so Spaulding Ridge really helped to walk us through the process. We did several examples together, beginning to end. And so that was really helpful then for us to be able to effectively test the environments and test the workflows then that we needed to do. So to help with communication throughout the entire project, we had regular weekly meetings with the teams, as well as any ad hoc meetings that needed to happen. So on the Curium end, we had a project manager, and then we had the team then at Spaulding Ridge, and we were really great collaborating together to make sure progress was happening, to create a venue for any questions or issues with that standing team meeting that we had. So for us, Spaulding Ridge, as the implementers, offered significant amounts of training to the team, which helped us overall be more comfortable, so that when Spaulding Ridge walked away from the project, we felt equipped then to be able to manage the system and build out future workflows on our own. So far, with using the DocuSign CLM process, we've seen a lot easier time in managing the revision controls of our contracts. So, we're in the initial phases of using this, and so many of the contracts were already in motion, but we've been using that third-party upload feature, which has really then allowed us to streamline the negotiation as well as control the revision controls better. And then the other feature that I've really enjoyed so far is just being able to track and see where the contracts are at any given time. So that visibility of who's that contract with, and what's the next steps that I need to close out that contract.